Hello, everyone. Your day is about to improve. You're watching Laketoria Nights, a show where we talk about movies, TV shows, video games, and everything in between. I'm Kevin, joined by Andy and CJ, and today we're going to be talking about the Netflix flop? Sensation? I don't know what to call it. Nobody likes it, but we're going to be talking about Bird Box.
It's a meme at this point.
Say hello, guys.
What's up, everybody?
I'm tired of having the same opening, Kevin. I know you only did it for 3 episodes now, but change it up for the 4th one.
What? You don't like Your Day's About to Improve? You don't like that at all?
I mean, I do, but I've heard it before.
He also just knows that it's a lie.
What do you mean lie? It's improving for me. Anyway, I will go back and think about changing it. Anyway, today, like I said, we're going to be talking about the movie Bird Box, which is, I guess, when did it show up on Netflix? Was it like last week?
Yeah,
I have no
like
idea. I just know when it showed up on my Facebook timeline and in every conversation anyone wanted to have with me for like a week.
Right?
Okay. Well, I remember, once again, this was another CJ, hey, we have to talk about this and we have to bring this up. I remember talking to CJ and going like, is this a scary movie? Because I do not like scary movies. I can't handle scary movies. And CJ said, no, it's not a scary movie, it's like The Happening. I want to let you know that it is not like The Happening. It was very scary, it was very stressful, and I was on the edge of the... Yes! For me it was. Because the moment was, I seriously thought she was going to kill one of the kids. That I was really sitting there.
Unsettling,
it's stressful.
not scary.
You're right, fine. It was stressful. It was very stressful, and I wasn't prepared for that during my Sunday morning going, holy crap, I don't need to act this way.
Kevin, maybe this just wasn't, like, the right movie to just settle in with your PJs and enjoy, like, a nice cup of tea and watch Eldritch Abominations that may or may not actually exist cause people to commit suicide.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. You might be right. You might be right on that one. I probably should have just been like, you know what? Maybe I should get dressed. Maybe I should be 100% here before I really get into this movie. But it feels like that nobody likes this movie. I feel like that's the overall consensus about this movie. And I don't know how to feel about it. Because when CJ tried to describe it to us, he was saying, like, you have to watch it. I don't know how to tell what this movie is. And I think the greatest description was, it is like The Happening, but better. I don't think the internet really agrees. I think this is better than The Happening.
Honestly, I think it's almost exactly the same. In that
you really think so?
Yeah, it was just really disappointing for me.
I don't know. I think it was better that we had no idea what the monster is versus them saying, oh yeah, it's the plants. The plants are killing everybody.
But I guess my problem was the same sort of issue that I had with The Happening, in that it's a monster movie without a monster.
I guess, but at least in The Happening, you got your monster. In this, they just said, here's what we think it is. Here's what all the, I guess, stuff behind it is, and why we think this is what it is.
At that one point, I cannot remember the actor's name when he starts sketching out, or like when he puts his sketches out on the table, they're all like Cthulhuoid type creatures, like eldritch horrors, that sort of thing. So
yeah, but
it's supposed to be a play on that. It's not like the devil for one person and then for another person it's whatever. It's just some eldritch abomination that shows people their greatest unspeakable fear, essentially.
But wasn't that kind of like what the store clerk said when he was just like, hey, this is a different thing and different religions and stuff? And that's what I thought that was when he put up those sketches. It's like, oh, these are demons from different religions that are doing this, which is kind of the same thing.
Sort of, yeah.
Okay.
But they all fit, for the most part, they all fit under that, like, Cthulhu family tree, so to speak.
For me, the movie wasn't bad. I didn't not enjoy it or anything like that, and I don't mind not seeing a monster. I think is kind of refreshing, because sometimes it's better to not show something than to show something that looks stupid, or to show something that,
like, that's the Jaws principle.
I feel like it works. I think what screwed this movie was the ending was so bad.
I don't even know if the ending was bad. Like, the whole movie just kind of underwhelmed me, I guess.
Yeah, but I feel like it's one of those things you have to like the genre, and I know you don't like the genre.
No, I don't mind it. Like, here's my problem. The most tense scene, arguably, in the movie is when they're driving the car to the grocery store, right? It's arguably one of the more tense scenes.
That's
of
the
movie.
most tense scene. Never mind the two kids who have to decide whether they're going to die.
Except that doesn't happen. So
Yeah, but up until that point, though, when she's trying to make a decision going, okay, are we going to do this or not? And then she goes, you know what, I'm doing it blind. And of course, the thing flips over. That was kind of a stressful moment.
I guess what I'm saying is, like, when you combine every aspect of it, the ambiance, the score, all the sound direction, the scene that builds the most tension, for me anyways, was the car scene. Okay. When they're being surrounded and the motion detectors going off and all that. And instead of it playing out the way that I guess it's not that it played out poorly, but it felt more like someone had a clever idea, like whoever was writing the script had a very clever idea for, like, oh, how would we drive if we can't see, and was just like, I need to put this in the movie.
Thank God B.D. Wong had a really nice car.
Right? Sadly, you can't say the same for his home camera system.
Yeah.
RIP.
I will say, like, this movie, I enjoyed the cast. The story did have...
the cast was amazing.
The story was up and down. Like, there's parts I liked, there's parts I could do without, there's ways I would have told things differently. You can pick that out in every movie. The ending, I did not enjoy because I felt like I got no payoff to them getting down the river and to where they were going. I like how they told the story in the different sequences that they did.
When they
in present time, past, you know what I mean? How they got to each portion of the journey.
What about it was underwhelming? Was it the fact that they never showed the monster? Is that why you were kind of disappointed at the end?
No, it's not that they didn't show the monster. There's just certain parts that just felt underwhelming to me. Like,
but so what about that part? I know that the whole scene was building up to the little girl and her and that relationship, and throughout the movie, I was having like this, trying to figure out, all right, whose child is it? Whose child is hers?
I feel like part of it is that I like the way they told the story, going past and present. What was weird is I'm getting characters that I don't know who they are until the middle of the movie. You know what I mean? Like, the kids, I have no idea who... I assumed both kids were hers until the middle of the movie, where her and the other girl give birth.
Right.
And I wish I would have known that sooner, so I'd be more in... Like, I didn't feel an investment in the characters making it down the river until virtually the end of the movie. And then when they got down the river, I was like, oh.
Well, what about that scene when she's crawling out to the girl and the girl won't ring her bell because it's like, dude, you've been like...
Yeah, but that's towards the end of the movie, though. Like,
yeah, but that's the end of the movie that you don't like.
No. I don't like when they got to their final destination. I feel like from the time I started caring about the characters and when they got to their final destination, it was only 20 minutes of movie. I didn't really get invested. Like, the people I was invested in were already dead. And then I'm still left with characters that I don't really know who they are. And as I'm learning about a character, they die. And I still have these characters who I still don't know about. And then I finally learn about it, and then they get to the end. And it's kind of like, oh. Okay.
I feel like they let the ending bit run a little too long. Like, if they could have shortened that up a bit, like the whole part where they get into the school for the blind or whatever. I don't know, I just feel like that bit in particular ran a little too long. Like, they could have just cut it after it was just like, oh yeah, they're safe. And they didn't have to spend the extra, like, 7 minutes or whatever it was with her meeting her former doctor or whatever, and, you know, naming the kids and then releasing the birds and all that. Like, I feel like some of that just could have gotten cut out and it wouldn't have really detracted at all.
Well, but isn't, like, naming the kids like the whole thing that Tom was, like, calling her out on, going like, hey,
why didn't she just name the girl? Because the girl had a name in the beginning.
Well, she said the reason why she didn't give them names at all was for survival, just so.
But the girl had a name.
It's like when you bring the dog inside and start caring about it.
I get her not giving her child a name because of her like displacement disorder, but the girl already had a name from her maternal mom.
I don't know. Maybe she was going to take care of the child like she would take care of hers. Because didn't she make a promise to the other girl?
Yeah, but I'm saying they had a whole scene where they're just like, what would you name your baby and everything like that. And I feel like that scene doesn't matter anymore if she's not going to name her daughter that name anyway.
I think the whole point of that was so that it lets you know that Sandra Bullock doesn't care.
Well, she doesn't have
really
to.
like.
It wouldn't be a case of her caring or not, whether it's because it's not her kid. So I would get one kid having a name and the other one not having a name.
No, but I guess my thing is it's sort of like when you name an animal, like a farm animal. This is a terrible analogy. It's like when you name a farm animal, you start caring about it, and the whole opening shows you that she's afraid to tap into her own maternal feelings for her child, like to the point where she calls pregnancy a condition as opposed to like a state of being.
Okay, but like think of it this way: what if with me, like if I didn't like dogs and I just called Sasha Dog, and something happened to you, and for some reason I had custody of Casey, and instead of calling her Casey, I just called her Dog too. Casey already has an established name, so it wouldn't make sense for me to call her Dog too. I just call her Casey, because.
But that would be completely different because Casey is like what 12, 7.
She's 10.
12,
10? Okay.
7. But where do you get your numbers from?
She's 10. You know, forget it. Either way, it wouldn't matter because you would be getting a 10-year-old dog that would know that its name is Casey. This is a baby. These are two babies she got. Where it's
here's the key. Here's the key, CJ. Dogs actually respond to their name.
I don't know. I just don't get like the whole point of having her tell her what she would have named her if she had a girl, and then her not give the girl that name anyway.
Well, she gave the name at the end of the movie.
Well, yeah, at the end of the movie. The girl had the name at the beginning of the movie. She just chose to call her girl for a whole movie because she's kind of a bitch. What if she just started calling Tom Black Guy?
All right.
Because she doesn't care.
Okay. All right. Here we go. So we're gonna round it up. We're about to end up. Is this movie as bad as the internet is blowing up to be? CJ?
No, not at all. I think there's definitely problems with it. I do have a theory about it. That's a real big stretch.
Right.
And my theory is that this is the start to Bright. For reasons. If you watch Bright, you'll understand why I'm saying that. But,
Andy, your turn. Okay, fine. Go ahead, finish. Go ahead, finish.
It's not as bad as the internet makes it seem, but it's not as great as... Cause I feel like no one's on the fence about this movie. No one has like a middle ground. You either love it or you hate it. It's not the greatest movie on Netflix, and it's not the worst movie on Netflix.
It's definitely not the worst movie on Netflix, but I just didn't enjoy it that much. I think it might just be because we're so flooded with like post-apocalyptic survival movies and other shows right now, but it just didn't really satisfy me.
You know what would make this movie better? If A Quiet Place didn't come out not too long ago.
I think that's really the problem, is they were just like, A Quiet Place was really, really successful or whatever, and we need to mimic that with the literal closest thing we can come up with.
I don't know. This movie made me feel uncomfortable. I got too attached too fast.
Really?
And I'm just like, well...
Maybe I'm just a psychopath. I don't know.
I was just like, well, I could see... I followed what was going on at one point and said, okay, I get it. This is about her. Everything else doesn't matter. If you just pay attention to her and her story, then yeah, it's a great movie. But there were so many questions that I had. Well, I was wondering, like, okay, so are the blind people immune to the demons or whatever
They can't see them.
Okay, well, does that mean they can't just go up and grab them, or they can only whisper? That's what I was kind of confused about.
Well, this whole movie was predicated on you seeing them.
Yeah.
Okay, then why was she rushing so badly when she got her kids? At that point, it'd be like, all right, I got you. Let's go.
Well, I think the idea was like the kids might not have the same level of willpower to resist taking off their blindfolds as she does, because she knows that they're fake. But to the kids, I mean, the demons or whatever they're supposed to be immediately used her voice to try and get them to take their blindfolds off. Right. And they started doing it. So it's one of those, I think that's why it was a time-sensitive thing.
Gotcha.
And you never know when a bunch of crazy people might be roaming through the woods with them.
I guess that's true,
on the
too.
river,
All right, well, I guess that's
otherwise,
fine.
I'm just really happy that people are idiots and doing the Bird Box challenge and all the other memes that have come from this movie.
Yeah, that's another video. That's another
I
video.
swear to
Okay,
God,
alright.
if I get hit by a car because someone's doing a Bird Box challenge, I will kill them.
If you don't die in the process.
All right, we're ending. We're ending now. Any final words before we go about Bird Box?
No, not really. Sandra Bullock is still hot. I still love her.
I'll second that.
Way better than that Helen Hunt girl.
Why are you dragging her back into this?
Okay, all right, we're ending this now then. Okay,
That
I
would've
just
made
want
this
to
movie forgettable.
I want to thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Please like and subscribe.
Like us. Subscribe.
This is CJ, Andy, and Kevin signing off. Play all the video games and watch more movies.
You've got mail.